just a quick heads up. So, if this script seems a little bit sloppy compared to others, that's mainly because I had to do a charity stream on Monday. So, when writing the script, my head wasn't 100%, and I didn't have to spend enough time. So, it may be a bit rushed, but I had to get along, because weekly reviews and whatnot. So, with that being said, let's get on to the review.
Also, the audio and performance isn't that great, and, with the extra day missing in the charity stream, this was just basically a nightmare. Kind of a bit like Heavy Rain now that I think about it. Hi there, and welcome to Yearly Reviews, a show where I go through all the games that I played through the year of 2020 1 week at a time. So, without further ado, let's see what we're reviewing this week. When it comes to games in recent times, none have intrigued me more than games with choice-based narratives offering different endings. In fact, some companies are known now for releasing mainly choice-based games altogether, like Supermassive Games or Telltale, and another one of the numerous studios dealing with those games are Quantic Dream. Known in recent times for the critically acclaimed Detroit Become Human, Quantic Dream are kind of weird. They try to make you care and take their games seriously, but playing them, something feels off, like with games such as Beyond Two Souls or Fahrenheit/Indigo Prophecy depending on where it's from. And of course, we're going to talk about the laughingstock of Quantic Dream itself, Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain follows 4 protagonists, each with their own distinct stories overlapping each other. Our characters are Ethan Mars, a single dad who is grieving over the death of his son, Scott Shelby, a private detective trying to solve a client's case, Norman Jayden, a police detective who has access to police technology, and Madison Page, who is a woman. Okay, she barely has anything to do with the plot, honestly. Their stories are all connected to one person, an individual dubbing themselves the Origami Killer.
Very well. I'm the Origami Killer.
The Origami Killer. Ethan's son is being held hostage by the Origami Killer and is forced to play sick trials in order to get him back. Shelby and Jayden are trying to solve the case, and Madison is also helping Ethan, I guess? So on paper, this certainly sounds interesting. We have 4 different characters, each seemingly connected in some way or form, but allowing the story to have blanks where the player can make the character's choices to see how far their story goes. The overall strength of Heavy Rain are the characters, so I'm going to go through each one in order of a best character to worst character, I guess. First, we're going to talk about Jayden. I do think that the police angle of this story is certainly interesting, and Jayden is likable enough, even though he's addicted to blue. Next we have Ethan. Concept-wise, his story was fairly interesting where he lost one son and his other has been kidnapped by a killer. However, to get him back, he has to perform gruesome trials in life or death situations. And I don't know about you, but I love those kinds of trials. Then there's Shelby, and his story is kind of a more pulpy detective story compared to Jayden, which was a more police procedural kind of story. And he was kind of good, considering the twist. Spoilers! To reveal that he's the Origami Killer. And then there's Madison, who was barely notable. Honestly, I think that's just because she had no real personality. I was just likely thrown there because it tits. And on that note, let's get into the negatives of the game, even though I haven't really covered the positives. Considering that this game seemed to be tailor-made for the DualShock controller, it incorporates motion-controlled QuickTime events, but it does this quite sloppily and it gets repetitive and needless very often. Also, the characters were often weird. Okay, let's take this scene for example. Ethan has done several trials to this point and is worrying about his missing son, and then Madison comes into his room, and depending on the choice of the player, they can fuck? Because it's a Quantic Dream game, things are ridiculous. Like the recent court case involving David Cage. You know what? Let's read the transcript of the court case, shall we? On May 27th and 28, 2021, a trial was held in the Paris court between Quantic Dream and the newspapers Le Monde and Mediapart. The video game studio is suing the 2 newspapers for defamation for articles that reveal the existence and distribution within Quantic Dream of racist, homophobic, transphobic, and Nazi photo montages, a practice of social fraud set up as a system, and more generally, a toxic corporate culture. During these 2 days of trial, the leaders of Quantic Dream competed with arrogance and amateurism. They came to attack the newspapers, but the trial seems to have turned against them as they struggled to defend their decency and dignity. So which moments should we remember from these 2 days of grotesque trial? David Cage, stammering in tears, exclaiming, "You interfere in my business," before leaving the courtroom, fleeing from the defense lawyer's plea. It is obvious that it was difficult for him to talk about honor when mentioned a list of remarks he had made in public. Anyway, in my games, all women are whores, in the open space there is a lack of tits, or, at Quantic Dream, we don't make games for facts. Questioned on the subject, Guilherme de Fondemier, the CEO of Quantic Dream, at the end of his arguments, asked the magistrates, eye to eye, "But I'm not under oath, so can I lie?" before making a series of dubious allegations and invoking a company in serious jeopardy, without however being able to provide any proof of any harm. However, I do like some parts of this game. For example, I like the concept, how many different ways the story can go, and the overall pulpiness of it. I mean, this is a Quantic Dream game after all, and they aren't known for the overall best choice-based games. Heavy Rain certainly isn't taken as seriously as other games such as, say, Until Dawn or the Walking Dead games, but for what it does try to do, it either does it pretty well, or it pulls it off in the most absurd way possible. And sometimes it becomes either ridiculous or frustrating depending on what you feel that day. To be honest, Heavy Rain is kind of a guilty pleasure for me, and despite the countless memes made about it, I can find some merit. There, that's what you were waiting for. Now get out of my house! Hey folks, thanks for sticking to the end of this review. If you like what you saw here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys making comments on these videos. They make up my day and I read every single one of them. If you like what you saw here, feel free to look at the newest review and look at the latest review. And if you want to watch more, feel free to hit that bell so you know when a new review drops. See ya and thanks for watching.